Bruce, this morning, what he said, he specifically talked about two countries. What he said was that Vietnam had been planning to come to the table so that the country could make a deal with them. He said Vietnamese officials were coming this week. He also talked about Japan, saying that they're eager to get it over the line and that they would soon be starting negotiations. The White House has also talked about Israel. Of course, we saw Netanyahu at the White House yesterday talking about breaking down those trade barriers. But for those countries that the White House is talking about these forward-making progress with, there, of course, are the other countries that are not in the same bucket, primarily China. China has announced retaliatory tariffs. The United States has doubled down and will be implementing a 104% tariff on China, saying it was a very big mistake for them to talk about retaliatory tariffs. So certainly there are sort of different phases across the spectrum here.
Do we have any idea whether President Trump's tariffs will be permanent?
You know, that is, I think, $1 million question, along with a number of other $1 million questions. You know, he said that there both can be true, that the tariffs are permanent and that the tariffs are here for negotiation. So I think, you know, it seems that the White House is going on a case-by-case basis, that there could be negotiations struck with some countries, not with others. But really, I think there's more questions than there are answers with these tariffs and what the purpose is. There's been a lot of shifting explanations and answers from the administration here.
Olivia Rubin, ABC News investigative reporter. Now to the top stories we're working on at WTOP this evening. We're following breaking news out of Spotsylvania County where 3 people are dead and 3 others hurt after a shooting this evening. Deputies say the suspect's still at large. The Supreme Court has paused a federal judge's order that the Trump administration bring thousands of federal probationary workers back to work after they were fired. A judge orders the White House to lift the restrictions it has put on the Associated Press as well tonight. Keep it here for full details on these stories in the minutes ahead. Brought to you by Workday. It's tough to meet tomorrow's challenges using yesterday's technology. Exceed your mission goal through workforce and finance transformation. Visit workday.com/federal to learn more. It is 7:48. Traffic and weather on the 8s. Over to Bob Imler in the traffic center.
Southbound Branch Avenue moving a lot better now. Looks like they cleared the crash near Allentown Road. 95 and the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, each now running without delay between the beltways. And 270 in great shape. No delays on 50 to the Bay Bridge and all but cleared out of the district. On the Southeast Southwest Freeway, briefly slow northbound DC 295 up past Pennsylvania Avenue and on the outer loop from Telegraph to the Wilson Bridge. And that's pretty much it for now. On 395 and 95, all is quiet as far south as Fredericksburg on the Virginia side, and 66. That is running well both inside and outside the Beltway. The Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is the best deal in fast food for a lot of reasons, some of which include a JBC 4-piece Nugs, junior fries, and a small soft drink for the best deal of all time. Got to be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary. Bob Imler, WTOP Traffic.
Now to 7 News First Alert Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson.
Freezing temperatures overnight and to start your Wednesday. Freeze warnings are up for the area. Temperatures dropping all the way down to 28 to 35 degrees by Wednesday morning. Sunshine expected for Wednesday afternoon and temperatures between 53 and 58 degrees. Quite similar for Thursday, but with cloudy skies, the next weather maker bringing showers to the area starting midday Thursday. It's a wet evening for us and a soggy Friday into Saturday morning. I'm 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 45 degrees Fort Belvoir, 44 degrees DC's Foggy Bottom, and 41 degrees in Silver Spring. Coming up on WTOP, why the flow of oil through an important pipeline in the U.S. has been stopped. More news in 60 seconds.
At ICF, we work with government and industry on projects that create positive change in communities nationwide. Whether it's powering energy innovation, advancing health outcomes, or leveraging technology and AI for mission success, we work with clients to tackle their most complex challenges head-on. Our data-driven solutions are designed to deliver results faster and help organizations move forward with confidence. Let's build a more resilient world. Visit ICF.com. That's ICF.com.
Looking for security? Whether your watchdog is a toy poodle or Great Dane, you know they'll probably be better at cuddling than keeping your home safe. For real security, count on durable materials and expert installation by Long Fence. And right now, all fences, decks, and pavers are 25% off. Terms and conditions apply. Go to longfence.com for a free estimate today.
There's a long time name for quality. Washington's top news, WTOP.
Facts matter.
7:52, the Keystone oil pipeline has been shut down after a rupture.
The Keystone Pipeline was shut down after a bang was reported in North Dakota just before 8 a.m. local time. Officials say an employee working at the site heard it, immediately shut it down, and notified emergency personnel. It will halt the flow of thousands of gallons of crude oil from Canada to refineries in Illinois and Oklahoma. Oil was reported surfacing 300 yards from the pump station in a field, but officials say no people, buildings, or streams have been affected.
That is CBS News correspondent Matt Piper. The cause of the rupture and the volume of crude oil spilled is not known yet. It looks like New York City's congestion pricing, will live on through the summer. The Trump administration and New York transit officials have come to an agreement about the $9 million congestion price, $9 congestion pricing as a lawsuit over the toll plays out. After pulling authorization of the program weeks after it was launched in January, the government insisted it come to an end on March the 21st. But a new court filing shows that both parties have agreed to hold off until at least October to give a judge time to rule on the future of the controversial program. The Metro Transit Authority says the program's a success, raking in tens of millions of dollars and easing traffic into the city. It's 7:53. Are you being a smart shopper when it comes to meal planning? WTOP's Valerie Bonk has tips on how to save money and the environment during Food Waste Prevention Week.
Food waste costs the average household about $3,000 a year. Jay Apperson, a spokesperson for the Maryland Department of the Environment, says there are some simple ways you can shrink that number.
You make your meals, and then you can learn how to use leftovers to make even more meals. And then after all that's done, if you still have food, you can consider composting it.
He said if you're not composting already, you should consider it.
If you compost, it's a win-win because not only does it reduce the amount of waste going into the landfills, but you come up with materials that can be used for fertilizer in your own garden even.
Last year, food made up almost 20% of all waste, or 850,000 tons disposed of in Maryland. Valerie Bonk, WTOP News.
The parent company of Facebook and Instagram, Meta, has launched another feature to help keep young people safe while they're online. More now from WTOP's Neil Augenstein on that.
With teen accounts, all teens are defaulted into these built-in protections.
Jennifer Hanley with Meta says a teen who wants to live stream on Instagram would need to get the okay from a parent. Same if they wanted to turn off the nudity protection features.
With our on-device nudity control or protection, what we do is we actually blur something that might be suspected nudity so that the teen doesn't immediately see that in their direct messages.
She says the teen accounts are also being extended to Facebook and Messenger. Neil Augenstein, WTOP News.
Powerball tickets still cost about $2 to play, but starting tonight, you'll have to shell out more for a chance to win Mega Millions. ABC's Michelle Franson has more.
The saying goes, you have to play to win, and now you have to pay more to play. Mega Millions. Starting tonight, the cost for a Mega Millions ticket is going up from $2 to $5. Lottery officials for the multi-state lottery say it will boost jackpots and improve your odds of winning ever so slightly from 1 in 303 million to 1 in 290 million. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Sports at 25 and 55. Powered by Maximus. Moving people and technology forward.
Keep on playing, but never seem to win Powerball or Mega Millions. No. But yeah, Rob Woodfork here. A lot going on tonight.
Yeah, the Nationals and Wizards right now riding fast starts in their respective games, and that's right now leading the LA Dodgers 6-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. They just moments ago got an Alex call, fly out to right to score another run. They've scored now in 3 of the first 4 innings of this game. All that damage coming against Justin Wrobleski of the Dodgers making a pinch start. For the Nationals, Brad Lord in line to win his first big league start, tossing 4 strikeouts, walking 2 in his 3 scoreless innings of work. Colin Poche pitched the 4th inning. He struck out all 3 batters he faced. Meanwhile, the Wizards in Indiana, they lead by a score of 39-34 with under 5 minutes left to go until halftime. The Pacers, however, on a 13-4 run to open the second quarter here after the Wizards got a fast start, 14-point lead at the end of one period, amassed by 65% shooting. Alex Sarr, best player on the court so far, 16 points, all scored in the 11 minutes he played that first quarter, shot 7 of 8 from the floor. The big news of the day from the NBA, though, Michael Malone out in Denver with only 3 games left in a 47-32 regular season that has the Nuggets just a game and a half out of the 3 seed. And if it seems like successful NBA coaches are dismissed at an alarming rate, it's because they are. Because after the Malone firing, 4 of the last 6 coaches to win the NBA Finals are no longer with the team with which they won the championship. Rob Woodwork, WTOP Sports.
Thank you, Rob. It is 7:56, and just ahead, the latest on the rocky day on Wall Street amid the trade war.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Discover wants everyone to feel special. That's why they double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cash Back Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Help Melwood expand opportunities for people with disabilities to find work. Donate your unwanted vehicle to support our workforce development programs in your community. Donating is fast, free, and easy. Call today and Melwood will pick up your vehicle for free as early as tomorrow. To get started, call 1-877-MELWOOD or visit melwoodcar.org. That's 1-877-MELWOOD or melwoodcar.org. Call and expand opportunities today.
This is WTOP News. WTOP FM Washington. WWWTFM Manassas. WTLP FM Braddock Heights, Frederick.
It is 7:58. Traffic and weather on the 8s. Over to Bob Imler in the traffic center.
We're clearing out all around the region now. Around the Beltway, only a brief slowdown on the outer loop approaching the Woodrow Wilson Bridge on 395 and 95. We are delay-free, headed south toward Fredericksburg and beyond. And 66 runs well both inside and outside the Beltway. Maryland Beltway in great shape as well now through Bethesda, Silver Spring. Briefly slow getting onto the ramp to go north on 95. Had an incident on the right shoulder, attracting a bit of attention. And Baltimore-Washington Parkway, that is good to go. They clear the crash in Laurel southbound near 198. Meanwhile, 50 to the Bay Bridge is without delay and in good shape on the Southeast-Southwest Freeway and 295. WTOP Traffic Center is presented by Window Nation. Today, buy 4 windows, get 4 free. Visit windownation.com. Bob Inwood, WTOP Traffic.
Now to 7 News First Alert Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson.
Mainly clear and breezy this evening with temperatures dropping through the 40s. By morning, we're down to 28 to 35 degrees. Mainly clear and cold with freeze warnings that will stay up until 9 a.m. Sunshine expected for the remainder of the day with temperatures between 53 and 58 degrees. 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 42 degrees College Park, 41 degrees Fairfax, and 45 degrees along the National Mall at 7:59.
You're listening to WTOP, Washington's news, traffic, and weather station.
WTOP News. Facts matter.
And a good evening to you. I'm Mike Murillo. Coming up, 3 people are dead, 3 others injured after a shooting in Spotsylvania County. Concerns over the trade war continue to rattle Wall Street, leading to another day ending in the red. The Dow ended down 320, the NASDAQ down 335, the S&P down 79. Supreme Court halting an order that requires all fired probationary feds to be rehired.
Followed the mission. Federal workers rally for their jobs. I'm Kate Ryan.
Also this evening, President Trump is canceling hundreds of student visas, including for students in our region. It is 8 o'clock here at WTOP.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. More than 60 people are dead and 160 injured in a roof collapse at a nightclub in the Dominican Republic. It happened during a concert. Journalist Yamel Kanan with Noticias SIN in Santo Domingo is at the scene.
The Emergency Operations Center has confirmed that when the roof collapsed, at least 300 people were inside the venue. Heavy machinery is operating to help rescue the survivors.
Among the missing is merengue singer Ruby Perez, who was performing when the roof collapsed. 6 deaths are blamed on storms and flooding in Kentucky. While floodwaters are receding in the capital of Frankfort, Governor Andy Beshear warns
not all rivers have crested yet, so we need everybody to stay alert and watch for high water.
CBS's Nicole Valdez is in Frankfort.
The Kentucky River still at major flood stage now, and it's expected to stay that way really through Wednesday morning. So many people here now trying to figure out what to do next, where to go from here. Business owners and homeowners alike trying to clean up from the either mud or water and decide whether they will rebuild.
More losses on Wall Street as the Dow and NASDAQ closed down over 300 points amid concerns of an economic downturn due to U.S. tariffs. The White House says dozens of countries have approached the U.S. to begin negotiations. CBS's Jennifer Jacobs.
The message from the White House was the tariffs are on. There isn't going to be a delay. The president met with his trade team in the Oval Office, and the president directed them to do a tailor-made package for each country that is approaching the United States to try to get some wiggle room in its tariffs.
The White House has warned against retaliation, pointing to its response to China, which now faces a 104% tariff starting at midnight. The president has signed executive orders aimed at boosting the coal industry.
We've heard the phrase, clean, beautiful coal. And President Trump says it's time to unleash its massive potential.
Pound for pound, coal is the single most reliable, durable, secure, and powerful form of energy. It's cheap, incredibly efficient, high density, and it's almost indestructible.
Trump's executive orders will allow some older coal-fired plants to continue to operate to keep up with the increased demand for power, despite concerns about pollution. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The Trump administration's aspirations toward the Panama Canal in the spotlight again as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in Panama for a bilateral meeting with Panamanian officials spoke with U.S. soldiers.
Together with Panama in the lead, we will keep the canal secure and available for all nations.
This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You could save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Visit Progressive.com.
It is 8:03 on a Tuesday, April the 8th, 2025. Right now, 41 degrees. A freeze alert tonight as we head down to the upper 20s. And a good evening. I'm Mike Murillo. Our top local story is developing out of Spotsylvania County. 3 people are dead and 3 others are injured after a shooting tonight. Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office says it happened at around 5:30 in the area of Old Greenwich Circle. Officials are asking people to avoid that area as they search for a suspect. We're going to learn more from our partners at 7 News when they join us live at 8:15. The Supreme Court has paused an order that would have required the federal government to rehire 16,000 laid-off probationary employees. Those workers were let go over the past few months as part of the president and billionaire Elon Musk's Doge team's efforts to gut the federal workforce and shut down agencies. The ruling is an emergency appeal of the California judge's decision to bring those probationary workers back on the job as the lawsuit plays out. The judge says the firings did not follow federal law. The thousands of workers in 6 different agencies will remain on paid leave for now. The Justice Department is appealing a separate Maryland decision. That lawsuit, also filed in Maryland, resulted in an order to block the firings at the same federal agencies, along with a dozen more. The order only applies to D.C. and 19 states. A rally was held outside the Office of Personnel Management today. It was made up of federal workers who were put on leave because their jobs focused on DEI. WTOP's Kate Ryan reports these workers are saying they have no intention of leaving without a fight.
Hoyt Crowner of Maryland has spent 30 years in government work, most recently at the U.S. Department of Education.
I've spent my career helping agencies build fair, ethical, and inclusive workforces. And that's not a political act. That's just good government.
While the Trump administration called for the termination of federal workers involved in diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, Crowner was among those put on leave. But she told a crowd at the Office of Personnel Management,
agency leaders encouraged us to engage in diversity, equity, and inclusion work. We followed the mission.
The American Civil Liberties Union of the District of Columbia, legal firms, and Democracy Forward have filed legal action on behalf of government workers like Crowner affected by Trump's executive orders. Their complaint is currently before the Merit System Protection Board. In the district, Kate Ryan, WTOP News.
The Army will begin limited use of horse-drawn caissons for funerals at Arlington National Cemetery starting June the 2nd. The caissons will be used for 2 funerals a day and up to 10 services a week. This comes after the Army suspended the use of the horses for caissons in May of 2023 to develop a program to improve the health and conditions of the herd. The Army has struggled to get better equipment and facilities to rebuild the stable of horses after 2 died in 2022 due to poor feed and living conditions. It could be much tougher for ticket resellers and middlemen to to operate in the district under a new piece of legislation that was introduced. More now from WTOP's Dan Ronan.
Standing on stage at a live music venue in the Wharf surrounded by musicians, Ward 6 council member Charles Allen said the bill he's introduced would crack down on big-ticket resellers, imposing fines of $5,000 per offense for driving up concert ticket prices.
Concert goers, pure and simple, are getting price gouged.
Audrey Fix-Schaefer, the head of communications for IMP, which operates multiple music venues, said resellers are making live music events unaffordable.
If people get gouged unnecessarily buying a $500 ticket that they could have paid $50 for, theoretically, that's 9 shows that they're not going to.
Councilman Allen said he already had 8 co-sponsors on the bill. He hopes to get a public hearing and a vote by this fall. Dan Ronan, WTOP News.
In a statement to WTOP, ticket reselling site StubHub says, quote, the proposal will only push fans away from safe, regulated platforms, unquote. Months after appearing unwell during a Thanksgiving Day newscast, NBC4's Leon Harris has announced he's leaving the station. In a social media post today, Harris says after 40-plus years of nonstop work and the dramatic changes in the news and television industry, he's made the difficult decision to step away from his role at NBC4. He's been off the air since Thanksgiving and says since that broadcast, he has been focusing on his health and family. Harris had stepped away from the station a time before this after being convicted of a charge of driving under the influence of alcohol. Harris has been in D.C. area news anchor for 20 years. Before going to NBC4, he also worked at 7 News. Coming up on WTOP, how much more will a new phone cost you? It's 8:08.
For over 40 years, we provided elite cybersecurity and intelligence solutions to the government's most critical missions. We combine deep expertise with cutting-edge technology to protect what matters most. Trusted by top agencies, we don't just defend against cyber threats, we stay ahead of them.
Learn more at Nightwing.com. That's Nightwing.com.
Get a precision AC tune-up for only $59.
Michael and Son.
Traffic and weather on the 8s. Over to Bob Imler in the traffic center.
Much cleared out around the region now. Things are running well around the Beltway in Maryland and in Virginia, and up and down 95 in the Baltimore-Washington Parkway. Also running without delay now. Same with 270 and 50 out to the Bay Bridge. Nothing there. Had a crash a while ago in Camp Springs, southbound Branch Avenue at Allentown. That has been cleared. In the district, brief slowdown northbound on DC 295 at Pennsylvania Avenue, and that's it. Nothing on the Southeast Southwest Freeway. In Virginia, all is quiet on 395 at 95 and also running well on 66. Brought to you by Fitzgerald Auto. It's a boy, it's a girl, it's a Kia. Fitzgerald Auto Mall welcomes a new brand of the family with Kia of Annapolis. Discover transparency you can trust with your new Kia at fitzmall.com. Bob Imler, WTOP Traffic.
Now to 7 News First Alert Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson.
Mainly clear skies this evening. The breeze that we've had out of the northwest, the winds will be easing up. Temperatures then will have a chance to drop quickly and all the way down to 28 to 35 degrees. That's cold enough. We're looking at frost and freeze, and there is a freeze warning up until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Sunshine expected for Wednesday afternoon, 53 to 58 degrees, your afternoon temperature. Similar temperatures for Thursday and even Friday, but now with the next weather maker coming in, we've got clouds and midday showers for Thursday. It's a wet Thursday evening and night, and then a soggy Friday going into early Saturday morning. Rain will be wrapping up by Saturday late morning. 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 42 degrees Georgetown, 41 degrees Bowie, and 40 degrees in Leesburg. The forecast brought to you by Long Fence. Save 25% on decks, pavers, and fences. 6 months, no payment, no interest. Conditions apply. Go to longfence.com. Money news at 10 and 40 past the hour here on WTOP. Here is Jeff Claybaugh.
A Tuesday morning rally faded after lunchtime. By the close, the Dow was down another 320 points. The NASDAQ finished the day down 335 points. That was another 2% loss for the NASDAQ. Small business confidence fell for the third straight month, with the share expecting better business conditions in the next 6 months, down the most in 4 years. Phones will get more expensive. The price of Apple's iPhone could go up as much as 30% on tariffs. Bet it at $350 to the price of the most expensive iPhone 16. Jeff Claybaugh, WTOP News.
Coming up on WTOP, the latest on breaking news out of Spotsylvania County this hour. There's been a mass shooting. 3 people are dead. Our partners at S7 News will join us live in minutes with the latest. It is 8:11.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. True Vitality Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate erectile dysfunction and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? True Vitality Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
True Vitality Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 703-637-1166. 703-637-1166. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 703-637-1166.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation. Even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia. Puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh. Did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine. Earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At ICF, we work with government and industry on projects that create positive change in communities nationwide. Whether it's powering energy innovation, advancing health outcomes, or leveraging technology and AI for mission success, we work with clients to tackle their most complex challenges head-on. Our data-driven solutions are designed to deliver results faster and help organizations move forward with confidence. Let's build a more resilient world. Visit ICF.com. That's ICF.com.
Change is in the air.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Jobs are on the line.
Deferred resignations for all federal employees who agree to quit their jobs.
You're bombarded with information every day. What's true?
WTOP helps you keep it straight.
WTOP News.
Facts matter.
It is 8:14. I'm Mike Murillo. Thanks for being with us. Breaking news this hour, 3 people are dead and 3 others hurt after a shooting in Spotsylvania County that happened tonight. It happened at around 5:30 in the area of Old Greenwich Circle in Spotsylvania County. Joining us live now from the scene, Leanna Golden, with our reporter with S7 News, joining us here this evening. And thank you so much for taking the time to be here. What do we know so far about what happened in Spotsylvania tonight?
Absolutely. Yeah. Good evening. We're here on this scene on Old Greenwich Circle. Right now, it seems to be 3 people have been confirmed deceased by the Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office, and 3 more people have been injured, taken to local hospitals. So a total of 6 people shot. Again, 3 dead, 3 injured. Still waiting for an update on the conditions of those 3 people who were transported to local hospitals. And of course, the suspects here, we're still waiting for more information. If anyone has been detained, if they are still on the loose, we are waiting for that information to come in here.
And so right now, it's really a few details. What are we seeing scene-wise? Is there still a big police presence there right now?
Absolutely, yes. It's kind of at the end of a cul-de-sac, if you can picture it, coming off the main road, drive down about a mile. Still an ambulance on scene. It's unclear if the deceased bodies have actually been removed from this scene here. It's a very crowded cul-de-sac. We've got family members, it appears, some neighbors who are here kind of overlooking. Of course, it's all taped off. It's a very crowded scene with Spotsylvania Sheriff's deputies, also Fredericksburg City Police here to assist as well. So a very active evening here in Spotsylvania County tonight.
And as we await to hear more, so far we just don't know any relation with the suspects and the victims or anything like that yet.
Correct. What I will say is I was speaking with a witness, a man who actually believes he heard the gunshots right outside his house. He was in his living room, and he said he heard just shot after shot after shot coming from what sounded like a machine gun. He had his 3 daughters with him. He took cover. And another woman as well told me she came home from work and actually saw some people who appeared to be young men walking by with machine guns in their hands. So, of course, that's from witnesses, but they did see that right out there on their street outside their homes this evening.
How frightening. Well, thank you so much for the update here, and I know you'll keep everybody posted on 7 News.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you so much. Liana Golden, a reporter at 7 News, our news partners there, joining us here on WTOP with the latest on that shooting in Spotsylvania County. A quick look at the top stories we're working on at WTOP. After some gains early in the day, Trump tariffs drive another sell-off on Wall Street. Federal judge is ordering the White House to restore the Associated Press's access to the president. Keep it here for full details on these stories in the minutes ahead here on WTOP.
You check your phone, 50 times a day? Because there's always something new.
It's the same with breaking news.
Stay up to date. Check back with us 2, 3, 4 times a day.
WTOP News. Facts matter. During your workday, you probably hear more than enough nonsense.
So you'll like listening to Sean Anderson and Ann Kramer on your drive home.
You'll get the latest local news from a source you can trust.
An update now on a story we've been following all day.
Breaking news from Alexandria. And traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 8s.
At the end of the day, you'll arrive home safe, sound,
and in full possession of your sanity. Afternoons from 2 to 7 on WTOP News.
Facts matter.
It is 8:18. Traffic and weather on the 8th. Over to Bob Imler in the traffic center.
Well, things have cleared out around the region, around the Beltway in Maryland and in Virginia. There are no delays to report. Things are good in the district on the Southeast Southwest Freeway and on 295. And all the earlier problems we had, including delays, have cleared out. 95 on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, each doing well between the Beltways. 50 out to Bowie, Annapolis, and the Bay Bridge without delay, as is 270 between the Beltway and Frederick. And in Virginia, on both 395 and 95 as far south as Fredericksburg, things are running pretty well for the most part. Though getting into Spotsylvania, a little bit of a slow pace there. Not sure if that's a work zone or some incident that is attracting some attention there. We're in pretty good shape on 66, both inside and outside the Beltway. There are no delays to report. We're brought to you by Window Nation. Need new windows? At Window Nation, buy 4 windows, get 4 free, pay nothing until 2027, now through April 30th. Don't wait. Visit windownation.com today. Bob Imler, WTOP Traffic.
Now to 7 News. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson.
Freezing temperatures tonight and first thing Wednesday. We do have a freeze warning that starts at 2 a.m. and continues until 9 a.m. for the entire area. Sunshine expected for Wednesday afternoon, and temperatures will climb to about 53 to 58 degrees. The next weather maker moves in for Thursday. We've got rain for Thursday afternoon, rain for Friday, a soaker of a day. Rain will be ending the early morning hours on Saturday, looking like around 9-10 o'clock, could have more than an inch of rain. I'm 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
And right now it is 40 degrees Rockville, 41 degrees in Ashburn, and 43 degrees in downtown Washington. The forecast brought to you by Gutter Helmet by Lednor Home. Protection for your gutters, peace of mind for your home. Get a lifetime clog-free performance guarantee. Call 888-5HELMET. And coming up on WTOP, the Trump administration is canceling hundreds of student visas. More news in 90 seconds.
2025 is shaping up to be a pivotal year for security leaders. Physical risks and geopolitical tensions are colliding, creating a web of challenges no one can ignore. As the largest private provider of threat intelligence, Flashpoint delivers what security teams need most: clarity. Combining cutting-edge technology with the expertise of world-class analyst teams, their Ignite platform gives organizations instant access to critical data, expertly analyzed insights, and real-time alerts. To access the industry's best threat data and intelligence, visit flashpoint.io. That's flashpoint.io. Hey, it's Dustin, and I'm with DMV Weight Loss. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So great to see you. So how much weight have you lost?
I've lost 65 pounds and about 41 inches.
That is incredible. How do you feel?
I feel wonderful. I have more energy. I feel better about myself. I just feel really good.
Talk about the scale for a minute. Were you surprised how quickly that number went down?
Yeah, the first 30 or 40 pounds went off really fast. I've been on the program for a little over 6 months.
Tell me about the biggest benefits you've seen from DMV weight loss.
I have more energy. The aches and pains are gone. I sleep better, and I feel better about myself.
Thanks so much for sharing another great success story with DMV Weight Loss. Most clients can lose 20 to 40 pounds in 60 days. Call DMV Weight Loss now at 571-415-3610 or online at dmvweightloss.com. Results may vary.
You're listening to WTOP.
WTOP News.
Facts matter.
It is 8:21 new tonight. The Trump administration has revoked hundreds of international student visas, including at 2 University of Maryland campuses. The Baltimore Banner reporting that the students at the University of Maryland College Park and Baltimore County campuses were included, as well as Johns Hopkins University students having their visas canceled. A spokesperson for UMBC tells the Banner that 4 international students had their visas revoked with no explanation, and that the visa revocations were discovered during a daily audit of the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System. The National Immigration Project is challenging the visa cancellations. Columbia University student and Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil appeared in a Louisiana court as he continues to fight for freedom. He's been in custody since March after he was arrested by ICE officers. The Trump administration wants him out of the country, accusing Khalil of representing information on his green card application and having ties to Hamas.
Immigration Judge Jamie Coleman has given lawyers representing DHS a little more than 24 hours to provide Khalil's legal team evidence that he is removable under the allegations levied against him in the notice to appear that he was issued when he was first detained. And this is about a month ago, actually. Today is the 1 month mark of him being in detention, first, of course, detained in front of his home in New York City.
That is ABC's Armando Garcia reporting. Kindness can be hard to find sometimes these days for a number of reasons, but in Fairfax County, acts of kindness are getting top grades in one school. Our story now from WTOP Scott Gelman.
There are dozens of referrals on blue paper hanging on the cafeteria windows here at Kilmer Middle School. Instead of describing a consequence, they're praising students for doing something good.
Nobody looks forward to writing a discipline referral. We all really enjoy and are inspired to write positive referrals.
That's Counselor Kristen Riegard. Any staff member can write one, and so far this year, they've given out about 1,700.
Maybe they're struggling a little bit academically, but they're making, really positive behavior choices, setting a great example for their peers.
The slip comes with a sweet treat, and they're issued during class. 8th grader Amanda Choate earned one for leading a group discussion.
I think it encourages us to come to school and excites us to come to school, knowing that our actions and kindness to others do actually mean something.
The idea is rewarding students for the difference they're making when they think nobody else is watching. In Vienna, Scott Gelman, WTOP News.
Some big changes come to Instagram and Facebook. WTOP's Neil Augenstein tells us the social media platform's parent company, Meta, is out with safety changes for its youngest users.
As of today, some kids with teen accounts will no longer be able to just start live streaming on Instagram.
If you're under the age of 16 and you want to go live on Instagram, you're going to need your parents' permission to be able to do that starting today as we roll out these new features.
Jennifer Hanley with Meta says teens under 16 also won't be able to turn off the nudity protection feature, which blurs suspected nude images in DM without a parent's permission. She says 97% of teens 13 to 15 are sticking with those default settings.
So most parents are not giving permission. They're leaving their younger teens in the default protections.
She says the teen accounts are also being extended to Facebook and Messenger. Neil Augenstein, WTOP News.
Sports at 25 and 55 brought to you by Amentum, advancing the future together for the intelligence community.
Right. Let's bring in Rob Woodfork.
All right, it won't be a shutout, but the Nationals a couple of innings away from a series victory over the defending World Series champion LA Dodgers. They lead 8-1 in the 6th inning. James Wood has come to play. 5 of the Nats' 8 runs have come via his 3 at-bats, a pair of 2-run homers, and a bases-loaded walk. It's provided plenty of run support for Brad Lord, the 25-year-old rookie reliever, making his first big league start tonight. He pitched 3 scoreless innings of 2-hit ball with 2 walks and 4 strikeouts to further his remarkable story. He was just working at Home Depot to make ends meet in the offseason.
Wow.
Now he's in line for his first major league victory. The Wizards raced to a 16-point lead early in Indiana, but the Pacers dominated the second quarter. It's all even at 48 apiece as they just got out of halftime. In Indy, Alex Sarr, a game-high 16 points, all scored in that hot first quarter. He had 7 rebounds and 4 assists. On the defensive end, the Wiz held Indy to just 34% shooting in the first half, including 1 of 14 from three-point range. Down a level, new Maryland coach Buzz Williams gets another quality transfer, reportedly getting Blake Harper from nearby Howard after a standout freshman season with the Bison. Rob Woodfork, WTOP Sports.
Thank you, Rob. And coming up after traffic and weather, the latest on a mass shooting in Spotsylvania County that has left 3 people dead. It's 8:26.
This is it, the start of a new presidency. The first 100 days set the tone for what's to come. Tune into WTOP for The First 100 Days, sponsored by the American Petroleum Institute, where you'll hear updates on the president's priorities and early actions. From bold new proposals to key legislation, economic updates, and high-stakes meetings, get the insights you need to stay informed. The First 100 Days, presented by the American Petroleum Institute.
There's a lot of uncertainty right now, and this is especially true if you're a federal government employee or federal contractor. Hi, I'm Jack Diamond for Roof Masters. You may be hesitant to spend any money right now, and that's understandable. But listen, if you think you may have a problem with your roof, don't postpone making needed repairs. The consequences could be disastrous. Please call Roof Masters at 301-230-ROOF. Roof Masters is aware that many homeowners in our area are connected one way or another to government work. So Roof Masters will provide financing up to 36 months with no interest and no fees if you need it. Call Roof Masters, 301-230-ROOF. Once they've inspected your roof, they'll provide a detailed estimate with several options. Then you decide what works best for you and your budget. Roof Masters, 301-230-ROOF. That's 301-230-ROOF. Or online, roofmasters.com. With Roof Masters, the proof is in the roof.
GW Hospital is committed to providing high-quality care, advanced technology, and world-class service to our patients. We've got you covered, from routine care to the clinical trials we offer as an academic medical center. GW Hospital has what it takes to meet the healthcare needs of our diverse community in the DMV. Find us in the heart of D.C., steps away from buses, metro, and parking garages. Let our family care for you and yours. To find a doctor, call 888-4GW-DOCS or visit doctors.gwhospital.com. Physicians are not employees or agents of this hospital.
It is 8:28. Traffic and weather on the 8th. Over to Bob Imler in the traffic center.
Not a whole lot going on around the region right now. Traffic continues to run well on 95 and the Baltimore-Washington Parkway in Maryland, as well as on 270. And 50 is good out to Annapolis and the Bay Bridge. Not a whole lot happening right now in the district on the Southeast Southwest Freeway or on 295. Things are running pretty well on the Virginia side on 395 and 95. Now, if you're getting down past Spotsylvania, a bit of a slowdown there as they're doing some work on Route 1 just off of 95, which is causing a delay back onto 95. And they may be doing a little mobile road work on 95 itself in that area headed south on 95. But 66 is in great shape in both directions right now. Not a whole lot happening at all as of yet. Work zone should be setting up later on tonight, but for now, pretty much work zone free except for that spot in Spotsylvania. We're brought to you by Crop Metcalf. Be ready no matter what the temperature with Crop Metcalf's $99 cooling and heating system check. Call 1-800-GO-CROP or visit cropmetcalf.com. Bob Imler, WTOP Traffic.
Now to 7 News First Alert, Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson.
Freezing temperatures overnight and to start your Wednesday. Freeze warnings are up for the area. Temperatures dropping all the way down to 28 to 35 degrees by Wednesday morning. Sunshine expected for Wednesday afternoon and temperatures between 53 and 58 degrees. Quite similar for Thursday, but with cloudy skies, the next weather maker bringing showers to the area starting midday Thursday. It's a wet evening for us and a soggy Friday into Saturday morning. I'm 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 41 degrees Manassas, 43 degrees DC's Metro Center, and 39 degrees in Frederick, Maryland at 8:30 at WTOP.
You're listening to WTOP, Washington's news, traffic, and weather station.
The WTOP Producers Desk is wired by IBEW Local 26, where electrical contractors come to grow.
And a good evening. I'm Mike Murillo. Juan Herrera is our producer. The top stories we're following for you today. We begin with breaking news out of Spotsylvania County, where 3 people are dead and 3 others are hurt after a shooting this evening. Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office says it happened in the area of Old Greenwich Circle. When deputies arrived on the scene, they found 3 people dead. 3 others were also injured and taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. Their conditions are unknown at this time. The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office says the suspect is still at large, and they're asking the public to still avoid that area as they're investigating the situation. President Trump's tariffs cause another roller coaster day on Wall Street. The Dow ending the day down 8%, the S&P falling 1.6%, and the Nasdaq dropping 2.2%. With those tariffs set to take effect at midnight, the White House says countries are reaching out to cut a deal.
The president said the tariffs kicking in tomorrow can be permanent, but his team's also negotiating with other countries.
We're doing very well in making, I call them tailored deals, not off the rack. These are tailored, highly tailored deals.
On Capitol Hill,
he deserves the opportunity to see what kind of deals he can get.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune says the president needs the space to make it happen. Top Democrat Chuck Schumer says Americans don't have time for that.
They're anxious, they're worried.
And traders are uncertain, sending markets down again after huge gains earlier in the day. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
A big decision today from the Supreme Court in favor of the Trump administration. In a 7-2 ruling, the High Court has blocked an order from a lower court to rehire thousands of federal probationary workers. They were let go in a sweeping effort from the president and Elon Musk's Doge team to shrink the size of the federal workforce. So what happens now?
For now, this lower court order that probationary federal workers at a half dozen agencies, including the VA and the Pentagon, are to remain off the job, not returning to work. The High Court, the Supreme Court, has paused that lower court order, and the reason why gets really in the weeds, but they have an issue with who filed the suit. They determined in this ruling it wasn't the proper party to challenge the firing of probationary workers, and a new suit seems imminent, if not in the very short term.
CBS News Justice Department correspondent Scott McFarland. He joined us earlier here on WTOP. And a legal win for the Associated Press today in its fight to be allowed back into the Oval Office. A federal judge ruling that the White House must restore AP's access to Trump events after being banned from the press pool nearly 2 months ago.
Trump-appointed Judge Trevor McFadden says the White House's actions have been brazen, based entirely on the AP's editorial decision to continue using the name Gulf of Mexico instead of the Gulf of America. McFadden says the Constitution forbids viewpoint discrimination, even in the president's Oval Office. He's ruled that the wire service's access, stripped in February, must now be restored. But he stayed that decision until Sunday to allow the White House the chance to appeal.
ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy there. The chair of a House Doge panel says the Trump administration is already saving taxpayers money by starting to sell off federal buildings and ending hundreds of leases. And that's expected to have a big impact on federal real estate here in the D.C. area. WTOP's Mitchell Miller has today on the Hill.
Federal agencies shouldn't be maintaining empires at taxpayer expense.
Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's led the hearing on federal real estate. She says the cancellation of more than 700 leases, including one for Voice of America in D.C., has saved taxpayers close to $400 million. David Maroney with the GAO says the reforms are long overdue, but also cautions against GSA moving too fast in a challenging real estate market.
It's important that they balance the goal of speedy reductions with the need for deliberate planning.
D.C. Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton worries that efforts to move federal facilities out of D.C.
would harm the operations of these agencies and waste taxpayer dollars.
On Capitol Hill, Mitchell Miller, WTOP News.
It is 8:35 now to the war in Ukraine. There are more than 10,000 North Koreans fighting with Russian troops against Ukraine. Today, however, Ukraine's president announced they are not the only foreign nationals from the Far East fighting for Russia. Chinese troops are fighting with the Russians as well. This discovery could be a major setback for efforts to end the war. WTOP national security correspondent J.J. Green has more.
Commander. What you hear is audio of a Chinese national captured in Donetsk by Ukrainian forces. He was speaking to them in Mandarin, but occasionally used the English word commander. The video was posted by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and in doing so, he said in his post on Telegram, they captured 2 Chinese nationals. But he has information indicating there are, quote, significantly more. The discovery raises a much bigger issue. Are China and Russia, 2 of the world's most powerful militaries, joining forces to attack a sovereign country? That could be a big problem for efforts to achieve a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia. Zelensky says this is a clear sign that Putin is going to, quote, do anything except end the war.
That was WTOP national security correspondent J.J. Green. The Trump administration's aspirations toward the Panama Canal were in the spotlight today as the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, made a trip to Panama for a bilateral meeting. He stopped by a U.S. military outpost to talk to some U.S. soldiers.
Together, we will take back the Panama Canal from China's influence.
After talks with Panama's government, Hegseth vowed to deepen security cooperation with the country and says China would not be allowed to weaponize the canal. Panama has repeatedly rejected the Trump administration's claims that China effectively controls the canal as it operates two major ports on either end of the waterway. Coming up after traffic and weather. If hedge funds are right, stocks are a bad move right now. It is 8:36.
Think you know KBR? Think again. KBR is a leader in advanced national security, space, digital, and data solutions. We deliver the technology and expertise our clients need to accomplish their most critical government missions. From integrating new defense tech to digital engineering and data analytics, from astronaut training to global logistics and extreme environments, whatever solution you think you need, think KBR. For faster, smarter, more efficient mission solutions, think KBR. When the mission can't fail, think KBR. KBR, we do things that matter.
Nats fans, the game doesn't end at the final inning. Keep the action going at Tap Sports Bar at MGM National Harbor, the official after party of the Washington Nationals. Grab a cold one from our dozens of beers on tap and enjoy game day bites like a Blue Crab pretzel. Catch every highlight on our jumbo TV screens at indoor and outdoor bars. Your game day HQ is here. Visit MGMNationalHarbor.com for details. Monumental happens here. Tap Sports Bar is a 21-plus venue.
John is in a hot tub on his vacation. He earned 20,000 points by spending $2,000 with his Navy Federal Credit Union More Rewards card. To be clear, you don't have to vacation in a hot tub to redeem this offer. But John did, because the bubbles make him happy. Right now, you can earn 20,000 points when you spend $2,000 in the first 90 days. Offer ends January 1st, 2026. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Visit NavyFederal.org for details.
Here's Carlotta Kennedy, Cyber Operations and Incident Response Manager at Nightwing.
When national security is on the line, Nightwing delivers. For over 40 years, we've provided elite cybersecurity and intelligence solutions to the government's most critical missions. We combine deep expertise with cutting-edge technology to protect what matters most. Trusted by top agencies, we don't just defend against cyber threats, we stay ahead of them.
Learn more at nightwing.com. That's nightwing.com.
Traffic and weather on the 8s. We go over to Bob Ibler in the traffic center.
Well, things are pretty quiet all around the region right now, waiting for any work zones that may set up later on. The only one happening right now is a little farther south of us, and that's on 95 southbound, which is slow from Route 3 into Spotsylvania, with some road work going on Route 1 off of 95, and I think we had a mobile work zone on 95 itself. So a little bit slow through Fredericksburg into Spotsylvania on 95 south, but otherwise things are running pretty well on 395 and 95, and 66 is in great shape in both directions, and Beltway runs well all the way around both in Maryland and in Virginia. In the district on the Southeast Southwest Freeway and 295, all is quiet, and in Maryland, 50 out to the Bay Bridge runs without delay. We're in good shape on 95 in the Baltimore-Washington Parkway between the Beltways. Looks like it might have a work zone eastbound on 100 at I-97, though. Bit of a slow pace through the interchange there. 270 is delay-free between the Beltway and Frederick. We're brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Need an oil change? At Jiffy Lube, get it done in 15 minutes or less. No appointment necessary. Visit JiffyLubeDC.com for a location near you. Bob Inler, WTOP Traffic.
Now to the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Weather Desk with their lifetime warranty on materials and labor. Trust PJ.com. Here is 7 News First Alert Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson.
Mainly clear and breezy this evening, with temperatures falling through the 40s. By morning, we're all the way down to 28 to 35 degrees. Colder tomorrow morning. That's why we do have a freeze alert. Warnings up for those freezing temperatures throughout the area until 9 a.m. Mostly sunny skies for Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures will range from 53 to 58 degrees. And then it's scattered showers, mainly starting midday Thursday and continuing through Friday into Saturday morning. 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
And right now, 42 degrees Upper Marlboro, 43 degrees in Woodbridge, and 43 degrees in downtown Washington at 8:40. Money news at 10 and 40 past the hour. Here's Jeff Claybaugh.
Wall Street sell-off extended into a fourth trading day Tuesday. Despite a big morning rally, the Dow closed down another 320 points. The S&P 500 lost another 1.5%. The Nasdaq finished Tuesday's session down just over 2%. Former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summer warns the U.S. is heading for a recession that could put 2 million Americans out of work. Hedge funds have loaded up on a record number of short bets against stock. Day traders have set a record for net sales of stocks. Jeff Claiborne, WTOP News.
And right now, the Nikkei is down 3.4%. It is 8:41 at WTOP. The Pentagon today confirming that it has fired Vice Admiral Shoshana Chatfield, the U.S. military representative to NATO's military committee. CBS News correspondent Charlie Daggett has more.
The official line from Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell is that she was dismissed due to a loss of confidence in her ability to lead, which is sort of Pentagon speak for just because. She was the top U.S. official on NATO's military committee. She had been singled out, put on a sort of woke list that has been put together by a conservative group because of comments she's made in the past promoting diversity.
Chatfield had been among a group of federal employees targeted by the right-wing American Accountability Foundation for promoting diversity. Her firing comes amid a broader effort by the Trump administration to censor discussion of systemic racial and gender discrimination in the U.S. It is 8:42. At least 60 people are dead and 160 people hurt after a roof collapsed at a nightclub in the Dominican Republic. And we're learning former Nationals player Tony Blanco was killed in the disaster. The Dominican Republic Ministry of Sports and Recreation confirmed his passing in a tweet this afternoon. Blanco played multiple positions for the Nats for one season in 2005. Among the victims, former MLB relief pitcher Octavio Dotel, who once held the record of pitching for 13 teams. Also, Nelsie Cruz, the governor of a northwestern province and the sister of former National star Nelson Cruz.
Here's your Jill on Money question of the day.
Dorothy from Maryland asks, I recently heard you say that people shouldn't worry too much about their Social Security. I'm so stressed out about this because of what's going on with all the cutbacks to government programs. My husband and I rely on our Social Security to live, and we would be out on the street without it. Let's take a deep breath, Dorothy. Your anxiety is understandable, but I believe the people in your situation should not be losing sleep over this. Social Security recipients vote, and there would be a massive uproar if the government tried to make any changes to the current program.
Have a question? Go to JillOnMoney.com.
Coming up on WTOP, the White House gets a win from the Supreme Court for now when it comes to rehiring federal probationary workers. We're going to have the latest for you just ahead. From our partners at Federal News Network, it's 8:43.
Why do large systems integrators hate Defense Ready so much? It's because we provide readiness value in months, not years, and at a fraction of the cost. In fact, readiness was mentioned 24 times during the recent SecDef confirmation hearing, and that's where we come in. I'm Sig Behrens, the CEO of Bermuda, maker of our software, Defense Ready. For over 25 years, Defense Ready has impacted decision-making with 40% process improvement, and we produce reports, including to Congress, with just one click. Now with AI, you can install locally or in a FedRAMP-approved cloud. DefenseRay.com. We put the right people in the right place at the right time.
Thompson Creek Window Company designs, builds, and installs replacement windows without the middleman markup. You get high-quality windows at an affordable price direct from our local factory. Call now for our biggest sale of the year. Take advantage of our best prices and lowest monthly payments on all windows and doors for a limited time. Call 855-57-CREEK now.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
In a world where fact and fiction seems blurrier than ever,
WTOP remains committed to the truth.
No opinion, no hearsay, just fact-based reporting.
On air at WTOP.com and on our social channels.
WTOP News.
Facts matter.
It is 8:45. I'm Mike Murillo. Thanks for being with us. Now to WTOP's continuing coverage of the Trump impact. A decision earlier today from the Supreme Court means thousands of federal workers will stay in limbo for now. The High Court has blocked an order from a California judge that would have required the White House rehire the thousands of probationary workers who were let go in the past months. There have been a bunch of legal challenges winding their way through the court system now that involve fired workers. Jory Heckman, reporter for our news partner, Federal News Network, joined WTOP's Sean and Ann to talk about what the Supreme Court decided here.
Well, the Supreme Court actually said here is fairly narrow in terms of scope. They said that some of the nonprofits who brought this suit, they don't have standing as far as whether they have a stake in whether these probationary employees were unlawfully fired. Now, what the Supreme Court didn't say is whether the unions that represent those federal employees, whether they have standing. And actually, we'll see tomorrow with that federal court in California, there was an already scheduled hearing in place. And we'll get some more clarity from that federal judge, on whether there's any kind of further developments in this case.
Jory, this decision today is separate from the Maryland decision that the Attorney General of Maryland filed. That is